I am getting ready right now for the Hot Taco bikepacking race, which is a 200-mile bikepacking race, and I'm going to hopefully do it in 2 days. And it is also going to be really hot. It's a summer bikepacking race, so I am packing light in terms of clothing and light because it is shorter. So this is not what I would normally take on a leisurely bike pack trip, nor is it what I would take for a longer or colder bikepacking race. This is just going to be light and quick is my goal. So going through each item that's going in my bags one by one. First is my spot device. This tracks my location for track leaders, and it also gives me the ability to message my husband if I were in need of a rescue or to send an alert to emergency services. I have a night rider light. This will be mounted on my handlebars. I will probably also have a tiny little flashlight on my helmet. I have a Anchor battery pack. So this will be for charging my cell phone as well as my night rider. And inside I have 2 little cables. I have an iPhone cable and I have a cable for the night rider. I have my cell phone, obviously for emergencies, taking photos, but most importantly, I'm going to be using this as my navigation device. It'll be mounted on my handlebars and I will be using Gaia GPS to help me navigate the route. I have a little toiletries bag, which I always think is actually one of the most used things I use while bikepacking, which is really important to keep yourself physically comfortable. This is my toiletries bag. This is one of the most important things I bring along because I just think it's super important to keep yourself physically comfortable while you're out there. I have baby wipes. I have spare contacts. I have diaper rash cream as well as chamois cream. I have yeast cream. I have some icy hot. I'm putting all of these into like a little contact cases. So I'm just taking really small amounts of each things. I have sunscreen in there. I have re-wetting drops for my contacts. Medications like Benadryl, ibuprofen, Tums, Pepto-Bismol. And then I have some first aid things too, like Neosporin, gauze pads, Band-Aids, some gauze wrap. This is my toolkit, which is the heaviest thing I'm taking with me. I've got a ton in here. I have a Tubelito, which is lighter and smaller than a traditional bike tube. I have a little piece of tube cut up that I could use for a tire boot if I needed to. I have a rag, some chain lube. I have a little multi-tool with a chain breaker on it. I have a bike pump. This is the Lezyne bike pump, but I love this one. And I have spare Gorilla Tape wrapped around it in case I needed some Gorilla Tape. Okay, in this pack, I have some Gorilla Glue, which is like super glue. I have brake pads. I have assorted zip ties. I have a needle and dental floss in case I needed to sew a torn sidewall. I have a spare link in case I broke my chain, and a couple other like small little bolts and that kind of thing. In terms of water, I have a hydration pack. This has a 1.5 liter bladder inside of it, and I can also put some food in here. I have a water bottle that will be going on my handlebars, and I put my electrolytes or what other hydration mix I want inside of the bottle. And then I have a water filter. This is the Ketadine Be Free. I've been using this for a couple years now for bikepacking. It's held up really well. And I will use this for filtering out of streams, any kind of springs or water. As much as I can, I'll try to fill up with water when I pass places that have a spigot, but otherwise I will be using that for my water. For sleeping, I have a bivy. I am only taking a bivy because it is going to be hopefully just one night out and hopefully just a few hours of sleeping. So I'm not gonna bother with a sleeping bag or a pad like I would normally take with me bikepacking. Instead of just taking my Alp Kit Hunka XL bivy. It is a little bit bigger than other bivvies, but it's the only one I have, and I've really enjoyed the ability to put all my things inside of it with me in case it rains at night. And then in terms of clothes, as I mentioned, it's gonna be really hot. Even the overnight temperatures are looking real warm. So I'm not bringing a whole lot. I will have the kit that I am wearing when I leave, and that's gonna be what I wear the whole race. I am, however, bringing some spare socks because I really hate having wet or dirty feet, and it's like the little things that are the big things, and I know my comfort is important, so that's going to be coming with me. And then I also have a down coat. I probably don't need it. It's probably gonna be warm enough that that's excessive, but I always like to be safe in terms of not getting too cold. And since I'm not bringing a sleeping bag, I can wear that while I sleep inside the bivvy too. So the only thing missing here right now is my food, which I will be adding to the bike later on, but this gives you a really good indication of what you need to take for a very short, very light bike packing race. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what I'm packing for food on the bike, and keep in mind that I will probably have about 3 resupply points on this trip, and the first one will be about 6 hours in, so I don't need to carry an excessive amount of food. Okay, we have got salami. Salami is my very favorite, like, protein and fat kind of thing when I start getting sick of just carbs. I have some instant coffee for morning or when I get tired and I need some caffeine. Got multiple kinds of electrolytes here, some shot blocks, Kind bars, a Cliff bar, mandarin oranges. These are like the bulkiest, heaviest thing I'm taking for not very many calories, but I absolutely love them. They hit the spot, so it's worth it to me. I've got a Hostess fruit pie, some chocolate covered almonds, Cheez-Its, which I just really enjoy eating because they're nice and salty, and the same thing with like these salted nuts. Okay, I've got a little tiny light taped to my helmet. It will stay because I've done this before. It's not the most elegant solution, but it works pretty well, and this thing runs off of a lithium AA battery for a really long time, and I can bring a spare as a backup also. Okay, bike's packed up and pretty much ready to roll. Starting at the back here, I have just a salsa, like anything dry bag, and I just used some straps to attach it to my saddle. It's a lot smaller than my normal seat bag. I've never used this before, but it should work, and it's got my bivvy and my puffy coat and socks in there. This is a dispersed custom frame bag. Inside here, I have my water filter, I have my toolkit, my toiletries, my spare battery, a cue sheet printed out. Let's see, up here I have a water bottle with electrolytes and some easy to grab snacks. On either side, I have my spot for tracking, a mount for my light, which I'll mount before I leave, a mount for my phone, which will be my navigation. And then up front here in this Revelate handlebar bag, I have the majority of my food that's not going in my hip bag. Just a quick follow-up now that I'm back. I felt like even though I packed really light, I never had anything that I was missing. I slept very comfortably with that down jacket on in my bivvy, and I'd say if you're going for a short, warm ride, minimize your load as much as you possibly can, and you will appreciate it. If you found this video helpful, please hit like and subscribe to get more tips and tricks for having fun on your bike.